Hello, welcome back once again to Vizru's walkthrough series. My name is Ben, here again with my co-host Milan. And today, once again, we have Justin, who is a product manager here at Vizru, as you know. And he's going to be taking us through two pieces of Vizru today, which are deploying a new app or patch release, and he's also going to be taking us through Guardrail publishing using Vizru. So go ahead and take it away, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah, hey guys. So first, let's understand what Guardrail is. So Guardrail is a feature of Vizru that allows you to neatly package up a collection of work and then deploy it to another environment. So if you're developing an application using Vizru, it's likely you'll have the typical dev stage production model, right? And so the idea is in your, in your dev instance, you'll do work, right? You'll create your dashboards, forms, workflows, etc. And then once a defined set of requirements has been completed in the dev environment, you'll push that work over to the stage environment so that the QA team can perform testing, right? And then once the QA team signs off, everything looks good. The changes to your application will be deployed to the production environment so that the end users of the application can enjoy the latest and greatest features, right, that you developed. And the mechanism that allows us to push and pull these deployments is Guardrail. So first, I'll demonstrate how to publish a Guardrail package. And by publish, I mean taking a body of work that you completed, packaging it, so that it's ready for another Vizru instance to consume. So first, we need to identify which instance we want to publish from. So in this example, I have developer.vizru, and this is my source instance, and justin.vizru, which will be my target instance. Okay, so in developer.vizru, I have an app called Justin's Cool App. Okay, so we'll identify which app we want to publish and go ahead and click App Settings right here. Okay, and so in the second tab here called Manage, we'll find the Guardrail options. Okay, so since we're publishing, we'll go ahead and click Publish. And now we're in the Guardrail section, which will take you through a series of steps you see on the right-hand side of the components that you want to package up. So first, we'll give some information about what we're publishing. Maybe we'll call this the first app publish. And typically, when you're deploying a new app to a target system, we'll want to check publish as full release. So you'll notice in justin.vizru, we actually don't have Justin's Cool App. Okay, and then we have an option to include the custom CSS and JS. So if you have, if you built, or written any custom CSS or JavaScript, located in here, the style editor and script editor of your live space, you would select this option, custom CSS and JS, to actually bring those in as well.
Just quick question. Going back to that publish as full release, is there a case where you wouldn't want to publish that as a full release?
Yes, so I'll get to that. Typically,
okay,
you wouldn't have this checked if you were simply doing a patch release. So
okay, got it.
Suppose both of these instances had Justin's Cool App. In that case, if you're just simply updating the application here in Justin.vizru, you would not select publish as full release.
Got it. Thank you.
Let's see here. And then we have the menu conf. So if you, sorry, give me one second. Yeah, so if you added new options in your left navigation in your app and you want to include them in your package, then you would select this option here. Okay, and then we can give our app a version. Maybe this is 1.0. And we can provide tags if we want to search for this package later on. Okay, so we'll hit continue and go to the next screen. And this is where we'll choose the spreadsheets that we want to import. Okay, so once we select a spreadsheet, we're given the option to bring over the column headings only, or to only include the data. Okay, so this is where you need to be careful because, well, you only use the option to include data if you want all of the existing data in this spreadsheet to be overridden inside the target system. So to give an example, if this spreadsheet contained new metadata that needed to be in our target system, then we would select include data. If, for example, this spreadsheet had 2 new columns that needed to be updated, but the existing data should not be included, then we'd select column headings only. Okay, if we move along, this is the form section. So if we had any forms, we'd select them here and we'd click continue. And then we choose our dashboards that we want to include. If any of your dashboards has an init workflow connected to it, you'll see it right here. So it looks like this dashboard has a init workflow called Justin Card Init. And so the act of selecting this dashboard will automatically select our init workflow to be included. So if we select our dashboard in the next screen, we're in the workflow section. So by default, the workflows tagged to this application will be displayed. If we want to view all the workflows, go ahead and select view all workflow or show all workflows. And then we have a list of all the workflows in the tenant. But since we selected that dashboard that had the init workflow, let's go ahead and search. And you see that that init workflow is already included, okay? So we'll go ahead and maybe select a few workflows to bring over. All right, and we'll click continue. Okay, so next is the live cloud functions. So if we built any integrations that interact with this app, then we would select them here. So maybe we select this one and continue. Okay, so this is the very last screen where you will get a preview of what this package consists of. Okay, so if you need to make any changes at all, you can use the navigation menu to go back. So maybe we missed a workflow. And we'd go back, get our missing workflow, and then continue to the end. Okay, if everything looks good, we'll go ahead and select publish. And it's as simple as that. And now our target system is ready to consume this new app. Okay, so let's click finish. All right, so let's get into our target system. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our guardrail connection is set up properly between justin.vizru and developer.vizru. So what we'll want to do is go into configure policies. And then there's a tab here, it's the very last one called settings. Okay, and then you'll see a section down here called app publish storage location. So this is where we define our source, right? So since my source is developer.vizru, that option is currently selected. And the way you would set this up is you would click add, and then you would input your source URL, and then your username and password for that instance. Okay, so we need to make sure our source system is selected here. And so now Justin.Vizru is ready to pull in Guardrail packages from developer.vizru. Okay, so if we go into the app list, you'll notice this app that we just published does not live here in my tenant. So what we'll do is click create a new app. Let's see here. Okay, so instead of clicking build new app, we'll search for Justin's cool app in our app list. Okay, there it is. So we'll click install, and now we have a few options here. So the first option is to install as an app. So this is what you want to use if you just are simply using the app and don't require any further customization on top. If you want to start using the app now in its current state without developing any new features, then you would install as an app. Okay, if you want to start, if you're a developer and you want to start using this app, you want to start building up upon it, then you would select import as framework. Okay, so one important thing to note is that if you select import as framework, you won't be able to receive any new updates from Vizru for that particular app. Okay, so suppose we just wanted to install it as an app. So we'll go ahead and do that. So if we click install as app, the install process will begin. And in just a few moments, our app will be ready for use. All right, so this is the confirmation screen. My app is ready. Perfect. Now we see that we have Justin School app available in our tenant. So now we can get in and start using the app right away. Okay, so suppose that now this app lives in Justin.Vizru, that in developer, we made an update to the app. And now Justin.Vizru wants to consume that update. So we'll go ahead and publish from developer. And maybe this is version 1.1. This is a patch update. Okay, and then for sake of simplicity, we'll go ahead and choose a few workflows. We'll continue and then publish this Guardrail package. Okay, so now, once published, the package will be ready to consume by Justin.Vizru. So if we go into the app settings for Justin's Cool app, in the manage section, you'll notice now we have an option to update the app. So you'll see it'll say update available, when the update was published just a few seconds ago, what version it is. Okay, so if we click update, we'll get a preview of what's included in the package. So there are my 3 workflows. And clicking continue will import that package. All right, so updating the target system with the latest patch is as simple as that.
And so let's say you push out an update and for whatever reason, you or your organization needs to revert back to a previous patch release or a previous version of the application. Is that something that's possible as well? Or once it's been updated, it's just at that update until another update rolls out?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Typically, if something breaks during your deployment, let's say you introduce a new bug, one way to roll back would be to use snapshots. And so you'd have an infrastructure team to actually take a snapshot of the instance and then reload that. That's pretty low level and you can't do it here in the user interface. So if you bring in a patch that you do not want, then you'd have to consult the infrastructure team to actually help you revert back.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay, so let's go back into the Guardrail section. The last thing I want to talk about here is the little gear icons under publish and update. So for every publish and update, there will be a history available to view. So it'll tell you which version it was, if it was a full release or a patch release, how long ago it was updated. If you hover over the details section, you're able to see exactly what was in this package. So it looks like we had 3 workflows here. Great. Let's see. Oh yes, and there's the ability to republish the app if you want. So let's say you have a bug in your app and you suspect that a workflow is missing. Again, that is the root cause of that bug? Well, you'd first confirm that you missed that workflow by going into details to actually verify that that workflow is there, right? If not, you could create a new package in your source system and then pull that change in, right? So to recap, I covered Guardrail, which is our mechanism to push and pull update packages between two Vizru instances. I covered how to import a brand new application into a tenant, as well as how to publish and update Guardrail packages between two instances. And as you can see throughout the demonstration, it's very easy to use the Guardrail. You don't need any type of special domain expertise to use this feature. And yeah, that wraps up this session for Guardrail.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Justin, for taking us through the Guardrail and how to use patch releases. I couldn't help but kind of relate to it seems in my eyes the same way that Apple kind of publishes their update, and it's up to the user, right, to grab that update and enable it to update their application, right?
Exactly.
So very, very simple, very simple. So thanks again to Justin for taking us through the patch release and Guardrail publishing using Vizru. That's all from us today, from Milan and I and Justin. And thank you for joining us on Vizru's walkthrough series. Take care.